Welcome to the latest installment of the Hyperdrive ST-XR Challenge. This weekend we're in Anglesey by the coast in northern Wales. Now it is normally well, as I said, the sunny track, but today has been a bit of a downpour this morning. I'm going to quickly catch up with Greg because they're about to go out for race 1. Now Greg, this morning was very, very wet during qualifying, but the sun does look like it's breaking out a bit. Do you find that today you're going to go out on a wet or a dry setup?
Well, that's a good question. I've been asking myself that all day. Changed the settings about 10 times, but it's kind of half and half, not quite fully dry for me, I think. That's what I've gone for. So, see how it goes. If we can stay in front, hopefully, you know, that's the idea.
How are you feeling? Obviously, first blood goes to you. You were 3/4 of a second ahead of Adam, who's currently leading the championship, but you're not far off behind him in the championship standings.
No, that's it. The aim of the game is to get a few more points than Adam this weekend. Try and close that gap a little bit. So, see how it goes.
Well, it should be a fascinating race in prospect here this weekend at Anglesey as the cars line up on the grid for race 1. Greg Spate on pole position alongside Adam Brown on the front row of the grid, followed by William Heslop and Michael Blackburn. Then Lee Shropshire and Jason Hennifer from Darren Watson and Lewis Barron. Michael Spencer and Mark Golding round out the top 10, followed by Paul Brattel and Ryan Barron. Then Andy Mellor, Nick Naylor, Jonathan Shaw and John Spencer round out the back of the grid for the first of 3 15-minute races here on what is a slightly mixed wet-dry track. It's mostly dry with some damp patches. Could play havoc with the setup as William Heslop's got the door open. Just trying to keep it a bit cool, but you want to get it shut now because the red lights are on. And race 1 of the weekend for the Hyperdrive ST-XR Challenge is underway. A nice clean start from the first few rows. It's a level launch between Brown and Spate into turn 1. Spate looks as though he's got the whole shot, although Brown tried to go around the outside. Here's the onboard view from Jason Hennifer in one of the Ford Escort XR3Is in Class B. There is the current class leader, Michael Blackburn, going up the inside of Lee Shropshire. Meanwhile, at the front, you can see the 3 main contenders in Class A are already going into combat as Adam Brown sneaks past Greg Spate into the lead now. So it's Brown from Spate, Heslop into 3rd place, Blackburn 4th, and then Lee Shropshire 4th in Class A already now into 5th position overall. A good healthy start for the 2 Fiesta STs up there in the top 10. On board with Greg Spate now trying to pull alongside Adam Brown on the run through School Curve up the hill towards Rocket Complex. He's pulling alongside, getting a great one off the corner. Looks to his left to see where Brown is if he's cleared him. The answer is no, he hasn't, but it doesn't matter. Brown goes deep into the complex, runs wide at Rocket, and that allows William Heslop all the invitation he needs to go around the outside into the second part of the complex and straight through into 2nd place. So a bit of over-exuberance there from Adam Brown trying to defend the position. Greg Spate got a great run off the corner and sprinted into the lead on the exit of the complex, and now he's trying to build the gap as much as possible. Looking at our 2 leading Class D machines, those are the more production spec Ford Fiesta STs that joined the championship last year. Paul Brattel ahead of Matthew Spencer at the moment as they exit through the corkscrew for the first time and make the charge up the Tom Price straight. Back on board with Hennifer, up another gear. Just chasing after Lee Shropshire just immediately in front of him. The black car, of course, is Michael Blackburn. Here goes Hennifer, taking a dive up the outside into the hairpin to try and make a move on Hennifer. But still, it looks though that Shropshire's got the line covered and just about holds the position. Leaders down the back straight towards the bus stop corner to end the first lap, and Spate has got the lead fairly comfortably already. But William Heslop is trying to give chase as they head out onto the pit straight to begin lap 2. 1 or 2 still damp patches around the circuit, but mostly dry and sunny as Greg Spate leads them across the line. Heslop 2nd, Brown 3rd, and a fight on for 4th place now between 4 cars in the field. You can see Michael Blackburn holding off both Jason Hennifer and Lee Shropshire as they turn their way into a left-hander at turn 1. Rest of the field goes streaming through. Here is that fight for 4th place. 2 XR3Is sandwiching the grey XR2 of Lee Shropshire. Just behind them there is Darren Watson. Darren is in the Justin Roberts Fiesta XR2 as Shropshire looks to go around the outside of Jason Hennifer. Hennifer gets a little bit of a wiggle on to try and accommodate the space that Shropshire needs to go around the outside. And they do run side by side, parallel through School Curve, and all this is allowing Michael Blackburn to accelerate up the road, and not only that, but start to catch Adam Brown as the top 2 are starting to pull away here. It's Darren Watson just behind this scrap going on between Shropshire and Hennifer. Back into the Rocket Complex. Jason Hennifer, of course, trying to chase down Michael Blackburn. They are nose to tail now, 1st and 2nd in Class B. Remember, there's 5 classes in this championship. Class A, of course, for the Fiesta XR2s, the fastest of the 2 XR2 classes. Then Class B for the XR3Is. Class C is for the Fiesta SI models, where there's only 1 driver in that field, being John Spencer. find him towards the back. And then Class D, which came in last season, as we talked about, which was the Fiesta STs. Not in the same spec that you'd find in the Fiesta or Fiesta Junior Championships among the BRSCC portfolio. These are more production, almost Group N spec. And then Class E, we see more Fiesta XR2s, but they run without a limited slip differential. A bit more of a cost-effective entry point into the championship. Probably and arguably the cheapest of the 5 classes and most cost-effective and value for money to get into the championship. We've seen a couple of drivers move up to Class A after starting in Class E from last season. It's good to see them moving up and increasing the numbers on track. It's a fantastic championship. It's effectively, in many cases, the original Fiesta Championship, because of course when it first started it was particularly reserved for the Fiesta XR models, but as it's moved on, the more contemporary versions of the Fiesta have taken over. But the older XR2s and XR3Is do still remain in competition, and one of the places you'll find them is this battleground, mainly for XR models. You may be thinking, with the Fiesta ST, why is it in the championship? Well, as Darren Watson goes onto the grass and loses the spot to Matthew Spencer, the leading Class D machine. If you go to Australia, what's known as the 4th Fiesta ST-150 here in the UK is known as the Fiesta XR4. So technically it does count as an XR and is accepted into the championship. We have seen a few drivers already switching to the STs, and they've brought an extra element to the championship. It's great to see them running towards the front. There's Matthew Spencer. He's a former XR racer in terms of the XR classes, but having moved up into the STs, he's revelling in the more contemporary machinery. He's now going to try and put an attack on both the Shropshire and Jason Hennifer in front. First target is Shropshire in the grey 33. Makes the sprint out of the Rocket Complex up towards Peel. Remember, these guys are on the International GP loop this weekend, not on the more widely used coastal circuit where they go down towards the bottom of the hill at the corkscrew hairpin right here, and instead of turning off left and then right down the hill, they turn all the way through 180 degrees round onto the Tom Price straight, up towards the hairpin, down the back straight towards the left hand at the bus stop behind the pits, across to finish the lap. Spencer, a little wiggle under brakes as he gets the car stopped. He's made the move on. Darren Watson, just behind Watson is Paul Bratell in the second of the 3 Fiesta STs here this weekend. Leaders into the bus stop, still with Greg Spate maintaining the lead from William Heslop. Gap has stretched out a tiny bit to just under a second. Heslop, of course, does double duty this season. He's not only racing the XR2, but he also drives a Porsche Boxster with a rather sort of inspirational pink pig style livery in a tribute to the old school 917s. He gets a mixture of mid-engine rear-wheel drive and front-engine front-wheel drive. He seems to be adapting well to both. There he is in the white and burgundy number 25, and there's quite a substantial gap now to scrap for third place, which is still raging on here between Adam Brown, who could be under threat from losing that place, from the Class B leader Michael Blackburn, who really is hustling Adam Brown through the right-hander at Church Corner. Greg Spate putting out a further advantage as they head up through School Curve once again. And Greg, of course, has been one of the 3 main race winners in the championship in Class A. And certainly trying to rack up as many points as he can, of course. As we said this earlier on this morning, we had a bit of a tricky qualifying session with mixed wet-dry conditions, mostly rather damp and rather overcast, but thankfully the sun has made an appearance here this afternoon for the first of 3 races this weekend for the Hyperdrive ST-XR Challenge. Anglesey is one of their regular venues that they race at, the other one being Alton Park, but they have also raced this season at Croft already as well. They have also raced at other circuits such as places like Mallory Park and Silverstone, even an away day at Snetterton a couple of years ago. So they do go further afield, but mostly the bulk of the XR competitors do tend to generate around the north and northwest of the country. That's why you find them mainly running at the more northwestern regional centred circuits such as Anglesey and Alton Park. So it looks to me as if the top 2 have this race firmly in their command. It's just really the battle for third place we need to look at now. Unless William Heslop can start to break the advantage that Greg Spate has and start to reel him back in the next few laps, it looks as though it's going to be either one of those 2 that will have the battle for victory. At the moment, it's favouring Greg Spate over William Heslop at this moment. Right for third is the closest battle in the front runners. Still got Michael Blackburn pursuing Adam Brown. Just behind him there is Jason Hennifer in the second of the Class B Escort XR3Is. Up into the banking once again. Top 2 flash-through shots in front of us. Just behind Jason Hennifer in 6th position, there is Lee Shropshire, but he's being hunted down by the Class D leader in the leading Fiesta ST, that's Matthew Spencer. Just in that class, we've then got Paul Bratell in 2nd place, and then Mark Golding in the blue car, who was the early leader in the opening couple of laps. He's dropped back to 3rd. As Michael Blackburn takes a look up the inside at School Curve. He's really putting Brown under pressure here. Remember what happened last time when Brown had to fend off an attack. He went to the inside line, went way too deep, and eventually lost not only the lead, but second place as well. It may happen again here as Blackburn sneaks up the inside. There's a little bit of body contact. Blackburn tries to go around the outside, but I think he possibly might have thought if he tries to get past, Brown might have a case for an unfair advantage via contact if he got through. So Blackburn has to sit back, thinks discretion's the better part of valour. I think, right, where can I get you next time? On the exit appeal corner, you might have a chance to go round the outside at Corkscrew, but it's a tough place to pass if you can make it stick. You may look for the cutback on the exit. And still, Adam Brown making the XR2 at the moment, one of the widest cars in the venue. And all this battling is just bringing Jason Hennifer into play now in 5th position. He's right there as Blackburn takes another look to the outside line. He tries to be last of the late breakers. Hennifer watches on as Blackburn now tries to look for that cutback, but again, Brown's got it nicely covered on the exit. And now the perfect view from Jason Hennifer as we watch Michael Blackburn again trying time after time to find that move to get past into 3rd place overall. He still leads the class, but of course he's battling just for the sake of having fun and getting a place higher up the order. Hennifer now trying to sneak a move up the inside line here because Blackburn's been held up by Adam Brown over the last few corners. He's looking now to take the lead of Class B into turn 1. They are side by side as Brown tries to escape up the road. And Hennifer's done it. He's up the inside and makes the move stick for the time being because here comes Blackburn back up the inside into the banking and they go side by side. It's a great battle between the Class B leaders. And while Blackburn gets back in front, all this has done is allowed Adam Brown to look at his mirror, say, "See you later, boys," and shoot up off the road. He's a little too far away from the top two to catch them, but of course, now that Blackburn's trying to balance his attention between the car in front and the car behind, it's a bit of a catch-22 situation here. But still, as they head now through the School Curve, back up towards the Rocket Complex once again, Adam Brown, for the first time in a few laps, can breathe and relax a little bit. He's got a little bit of breathing space now between himself and Michael Blackburn, but Jason Hennifer, meanwhile, is just applying the pressure as much as possible. In many cases, he's got really nothing to lose because he's not really sort of battling too much with anyone else in the Class B category behind. He's simply going for what should be, at the very least, a 2nd place finish. Let's go back on board with Jason. See, looking on the horizon, you can see the Irish Sea in the background. It's a fantastic, picturesque location. Is Anglesey in North Wales, on the Isle of Anglesey. The race circuit what you find in the UK, which is located right next to the sea itself. We see now William Heslop, and that's a change of position. So away from the cameras, you've had a change to the lead between William Heslop and Greg Spate. Something's happened. Either Heslop's caught him and made it through. So we see one of the Barons struggling for pace. Looks as though it's possibly, I think that's Ryan Barron having problems. He's now heading towards the pits with a very sick-sounding engine. As Greg Spate now is falling back in 2nd position. So whether or not there was a mistake, whether there was any contact, whether there was just a simple pass up the inside line and Heslop found enough pace in some clear air in the last couple of laps to close the gap and to go ahead and make the pass, we'll have to wait and see. We didn't catch it on camera, unfortunately, so we're just watching some more battles down the order. As we look now to our race leaders once again, exiting the banking on the sprint towards Church Corner now. And let's see what Greg Spate's got left here. Of course, remember, when he was attacking for the lead on the first lap, going down the outside of Adam Brown, he put him under pressure and was able to force him into an early mistake. William Heslop might have a slightly cooler head on this occasion. He might not be so privy to any attack that Greg Spate wants to throw at him. He is closing in on the run towards Rocket Corner, though. Gets a great run off Church through School Curve. Takes that wider line to force Heslop to go defensive. But again, the inside line is the shorter, but it's the slower run through the corner. So Spate will look for the momentum, and he has gained quite a lot on this first part of a lap already. They are coming up to John Spencer in the lone Class C machine. They both put a lap on him, exiting Peel, and Greg Spate's now trying to make an attack here down the outside line. It's not finished just yet. Heslop just finds Greg sitting on his rear bumper as they turn out through the corkscrew onto the Tom Price straight. We've still got a few minutes to go here. We go back on board with Spate, staring at the boot lid of Heslop as they head down towards the hairpin. Darts to the outside, makes a last-minute lunge on the outside line to take the lead once again. Is he going to make it stick? Can he get the cutback on the exit? That's what he's looking for. Heslop again puts the power down, gets the tight line and the racing line through the corner, and now it's the drag race down towards the bus stop. Still the top two together. Greg Spate is perched on Heslop's right rear corner as they turn into a left-hander. Lots of battling in the background going on in the further positions in the top 5 and the top 10. But this is the main focus as Heslop just wobbles a little bit off the corner. But again, the momentum's still good enough to hold on to the place for the time being, and Spate got his nose back up the inside again. But there was still no more room at the end. And Heslop, you have to feel possibly, he's now been a little bit rattled by that attack from Greg Spate. So maybe not as cool as he once thought he was. So they now head out of the banking again. Greg Spate now this time a lot closer than he was before, this time last time by. In through Church Corner again, and the great momentum that he carries off the Church Corner is clear to see. Now he's in the slipstream. Heslop, of course, punching the big hole in the air, and Greg Spate is taking full advantage of that, catching a toe off the back of the 25, looks to the outside line. Heslop throws the block. He's forcing Spate to go to the outside now towards Rocket Complex, but if he can put himself alongside, he'll be on the inside for the second part. But again, tries to find that inside line with the switch back on the exit, but can't quite get through. So still William Heslop will not give way here to Greg Spate. So this is the main story of the season so far. These two plus Adam Brown battling it out amongst each other. While Adam Brown has faded away after his initial start from the front row of the grid, he still is someone to watch out for if fortunes go his way. Back into the corkscrew once again. Of course, this is all going to be valuable championship points towards both the class and overall title, of which both William Heslop and Greg Spate, of course, are going to be key contenders all season long. As once again, Greg Spate diving to the outside line, but he may have gone a little bit too deep. He's going to run wide over the exit tarmac and just uses a couple of car lengths. There was a little bit of a lock-up force from Heslop in the process because he saw that Greg Spate was trying to make the attack. Meanwhile, in the background, we've seen a change for third place. Michael Blackburn, the leader in Class B, has got past Adam Brown. And now Adam himself is coming under threat for his fourth position from the second man in Class B, that being Jason Hennifer, who we rode on board with a few laps ago. Last lap of the race then, into turn 1 for the final time, and the last chance for Greg Spate around the 2.1 mile International GP loop here at Anglesey to try and make this move. Again, tries to square the corner off with a later apex off the banking. Seems to have worked. He's pulled it back a little bit more of a gap as they head towards Church Corner. Now, we know how strong Greg Spate is through Church Corner through this right-hander. He can carry so much speed and momentum taking the tighter line through, and it seems to have worked. Let's see how much of an effect these slipstreams are going to have on Greg Spate charging up onto the back of Heslop, who really is closing in. The boxy shape of the XR2 is really helping Greg Spate here. This is almost a carbon copy of the first lap of the race when he dived down the outside line of Adam Brown. Looks to go around the outside of William Heslop. Can he get himself onto the inside line? No, he can't. Heslop neatly throws the block and holds the inside line for the second part of Rocket. Fantastic battle in the closing stages of race 1 of the weekend. It's only the first race. We've got 2 more after this. This could happen all weekend long between these two, but it's absolutely fascinating to watch. Heslop now with half a lap to go to defend Greg Spate and the lead as they come into the left-hander at the corkscrew for the final time. Out of it. Onto the Tom Price straight. Possibly maybe one more chance to get through here. Can he maybe look for a last-minute attack again, looking to the outside? He's done it twice before. Goes for a third attempt. And again forcing the lock-up from Heslop. Now, can he get the switch back on the exit? Or is Heslop's grip and confidence enough in that number 25 car to keep himself in front? The sprint down towards the final corner at the bus stop is now crucial, and Spate is lining him up for an attack, and here he comes. Looks left, then looks right, looks to the inside line, looks right again, but still cannot get through. Tries to force the mistake one more time from Heslop, but I think he might just miss out. It's going to be a straight line drag race towards the checkered flag. Spate pulls out, but it's going to be too late. In a fantastic photo finish, William Heslop once again triumphs ahead of Greg Spate. It'll be third place and the Class B victory for Michael Blackburn as he comes across the line. Fourth place and third in Class A for Adam Brown, who fell back into the clutches of Jason Hennifer. What a fantastic race, and there's confirmation of the result. Heslop beating Spate by 0.140 of a second from Michael Blackburn in third, Adam Brown fourth, then Hennifer, Shropshire, Spencer, who wins Class D, Brown, Watson, Bratell, and then rounding out the top 10, we see also Mark Golding, Andy Mellor, Jonathan Shaw, Nick Naylor, and John Spencer. A cracking first race of the weekend at Anglesey, and there's still 2 more left to go.
That came down to the wire. In fact, I'm pretty sure there might have been a photo finish at the end there.
Yeah, it's about half a car length in it. I think he tried to make a lunge on the inside, and I just got offline, and it's still a little bit greasy, so I had a big lock up. And as we both went round, I seen half the car length coming, and I thought, no, not now, not now. Managed just to get enough grip and pull away, and managed to keep it.
The look on people's faces here in Park for May just says it all. That race was thrilling.
Yeah, it was thrilling. Not quite thrilling enough for me, I suppose, but that was a good race, close race. Managed to get a little bit of a gap after a few laps, but then my car started misfiring. It died a little bit for a couple of laps, and then that's when Will got past. So I thought my race was over, to be honest, but then it seemed to come back to life again, and I was able to catch him back up and put some more pressure on him. But couldn't quite get there. It was close, but just couldn't get my nose in front. So it's a good race though.
Michael, quickly talk me through that race. It seems to be one of the most thrilling ones we've had.
Yeah, I was fighting with Adam for third place, and yeah, he was defensive, very defensive. Let's say that. All clean, no issues at all with it really. I eventually found my way past, but you know, first and second, Greg and Will had just gone away. So it's just a matter of bringing it home in third place and giving a little gap, back to Adam. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. First time out this year.